So hello everybody. I was invited to 20th Wave conference. Wave means Women Against Violence Europe. Held in Malta last 21st, 22nd, and 23rd October 2018. There were no streaming nor any interventions recorded. So I would like to share with all of you my whole conference. So here you are it. Um, Thanks again for the opportunity of being there, sharing with all feminist women who attended the conference. First of all, I would like to introduce myself. I am Kika Fumero. I'm an ELC board member. ELC means European Lesbian Conference. We hold our first European Lesbian Conference last year in October 2017 in Vienna, Austria. And our next second, this time, European Lesbian Conference will take place in Kiev, Ukraine, next 12 to 14 April 2019. So I would like, before starting, I would like to share with you our launch video. So here you are. So we are looking forward to seeing all of you there in Ukraine, in Kiev, next 12 to 14 April 2019, bringing lesbian genius to the world. So please save the date. So I was introducing myself. Mm, I am a Spanish lesbian and feminist activist. I am also a teacher and trainer of trainers on LGBT issues within educational and social fields in private and public sectors. So, when I was asked to speak about sexual violence against lesbian women, I decided to bring all of you current information about what is happening in Spain, that is, in a country where our legal rights have been achieved. Because if we know what is happening in a country like Spain, maybe we might imagine what is happening in other countries where women rights or lesbian women rights are not achieved at all. I know we suffer sexual harassment and attack as lesbians. I do know, and I do know I've never been an exception, I never will. Lots of women are raped or have been raped due to the mere fact of being women, and those who discover their sexual identity time after the rape, they have heard and they hear constantly sentences like you are lesbian because you have not resolved trauma from your childhood. Sentences like that make you feel doubly guilty. So I wondered till which point Spanish lesbian women are being sexually harassed in their quotidian lives and even at work. I made just a rough estimation of the Spanish situation of these aspects, and here you are the results. So, to the question, have you ever been verbally attacked with sexually charged remarks in the street by a guy or a group of guys? Nearly 70% said yes. These simple answers show us till which point lesbian bodies are objectified and sexualized by patriarchal male glands. We have double discrimination. On one hand, we break female roles and stereotypes. I mean, we break up with what we are expected to be and what we are expected to do as women. And on the other hand, we break with the order of serving male desires. We are not at their disposal, and that's the problem. These two breakdowns make the system react and put up resistance. How? So, by treating us as sexual objects, by making us notice that we are bad girls, and by trying to rectify our conduct and behavior. That is our desire. Here we have a nuage, we have a cloud of words. It's made with software called Iramutek. This cloud grouped together the words and organized them in a graphic and visual way, as you can see, according to their frequencies in the speeches which have been studied. It is a lexical analysis, very simple, but so interesting, I think, because it shows the words predominating in the speeches altogether. These words are clearly displayed herein, as you can see. Sorry for the language, but I did the questionnaire in Spanish and I couldn't change it because size, as you can see, size counts, and it would be so difficult to put each translation on each word and to control each size at the same time. But I can translate it. So here we are. We have comment as a predominating, the most predominating word. Then we have insult. Then we have man, couple or partner, street, woman, lesbian, violence, harassment, glance, and then we have other as disdain, rejection or repudiation, etc. So, within the women who have participated in this questionnaire, on this form, this survey, we have the following results. 25% declared they have been touched up by a man in the street or by a colleague at work. Nearly 48% stated to have suffered comments like, I would have sex with you and your girlfriend. 3 of our participants have confessed to have been raped because of being lesbian. And 2% a man have tried to rape them due to their sexual identity as lesbian. So, taking into account that we are talking about a country like Spain, where we have our legal rights achieved, almost all of them at least, these figure, I think, are chillingly and terrifying figures. Of course, it has to do with the way we have been socialized and to the lack of awareness about the negative values and phobias we have interiorized. But as my colleague pointed out, the first barrier is society attitude. So I am concerned about. I also am concerned about the symbolic imaginary of straight male identities, because lesbian as intersectionality, we are doubly sexualized. For example, nearly 40% of participants state that men have said continuously and constantly the following statement: you are lesbian because you've not found a real man. Or, for example, 38% state that men repeat them very often: you are lesbian because you have not found a good dick. Oh my god. So, here you are a concordance between different segments related to the speeches we have collected from the answer of Spanish lesbian women to the questionnaire dealing with sexual violence against them. So the whole corpus is the rough text we have analyzed, the whole text introduced in the software. I've mentioned it before, Iramutek. So then we have comments as most common term, and then we have all the connections possible with other segments. So here you are, we have comments, bad comments with sexual remarks, of course, and then we have notes of words. One is the prevailing term, and around this word there are a series of words in relation to the main one. That so you can see insult, man, street, another group of words, of another segment, partner, lesbian, woman, more, and then we have glance in green and a verb that is to do. It's, that is just to show you a lexical map of our participant stories and statement. So, mm, what about workplaces? Let's see. 18% of answers declare to have been sexually harassed at work. If we take into account that 63% of lesbians are not visible, that is according to the result of a previous survey we have carried out in 2017. Me and Marta Fernandez Rai from Less Working. Less Working is the first international professional network or Spanish network for lesbian women. Um, so, according to this survey, where we have a participation of more than 5,000 answers in Spanish version and more than 1,500 answers in French version. We, if we take it into account that 63% are in the closet, so we may state that nearly 20%, that is the 18% you can see at the slide, I think is an important figure. For example, being a lesbian woman is perceived as a problem for most of Spanish and French lesbians. 63% of Spanish lesbian women have had problems in their lives for being LBT. There are lesbian women both in Spain and in France who do not show their affection in public places. In Spain, there are 62% of lesbian of Spanish lesbians who prefer not to be visible around in their public lives, at workplaces, in the street, etc. So here you are, 18% has been sexually harassed, and 63% Spanish lesbian women are not visible. So being visible implicates a price to be paid, that is, being exposed ourselves to be sexually harassed or attacked at any time and anywhere, at least insulted. As we could see at our clouds of relevant words of the statement. So we live with the constantly risk of being discriminated in several situations and having our physical integrity exposed and in risk. So let's see some statements of our participants. Somehow let's listen their voices. So here you are some of the statements. I'm going to read just some of them, not all of them, of course. For example, the first one, a security man of the university found my girlfriend and me kissing and touching each other secretly. He allows my girlfriend go away, but not me. He told me that if we were a straight couple, we would have left us alone. So then he started touching me up and properly, and I was so silly to let him do so because I feared being publicly reported. So here you are, other statements. For example, the first one, a flashing from a roommate who forced me to look at him while he was masturbating. He told me, you have never seen a dick that big while ejaculating. He suspected I was a lesbian. Um, Men masturbating in a public place near me and my girlfriend. We have been asked for a trio by several unknown men in the street. Being with my girlfriend in a swamp, a man seated beside us a few meters away and started masturbating and showing us what he was doing. So, as conclusions, we may state that lesbian invisibility deals with fears. We don't know how the reaction of other people, our colleagues, family, and unknown people in the street would be. We don't know or we don't want to exposure ourselves to such stigmatized level. We don't want to be the focus of sexual harassment or even attacks. If the main reason not to come out is fear and insecurity, we need to work with the whole society in order to prevent sexual and gender based violence against women in general and lesbian women in particular. And on the other hand, we need to work on lesbian visibility in order to naturalize our reality and to empower lesbian community. We are all women, so we already face challenges in our lives because of our gender. Besides this, our sexual orientation is a reason to suffer at least double discrimination. Then it will depend, of course, on our social class, the ethnic group we belong to, our religion, etc. Of course. And look, because we have said nothing about lesbian refugees. I mean, all those lesbian asylum seekers, all of them have been savage beaten and have suffered severe violence. Most of them have suffered corrective rapes, and their specific situation in our countries is not taken into account, at least it's not enough, and it urged to be. Public institutions have to be aware of our situation and invest money and destinate funds to lesbian projects, to lesbian NGOs, in order to set up lesbian policies. As we says in at the European Lesbian Conference, European lesbians lack the fundamental structures, tools, and mechanisms to fight lesbophobia, sexism, misogyny, transphobia, and interphobia, racism, and all of other types of discrimination experienced daily by members of our community. So we need economic support in order to gather and to structure our own forums, councils and meetings. We need to carry out more researches on lesbian women issues in all European policy areas in order to know more about the identity and needs of our community, both as women and as LGBT. But we hope to have more financial and institutional support in order to do a better job and to cover our European country. The only way to take right decisions and to build useful policies is to have more real data on lesbian issues, on our reality and our daily lives within our society. Lesbian rights violation is a human rights violation, which is hidden and usually remains in impunity, even if said human rights violation is present in every society of the world and it has a unique origin. That is the universal discrimination against women due to the mere fact of being women. And finally, here we are, or here you are, our four recommendations. First one is carrying out more researches on lesbian women, as I said before, of lesbian women issues in all European policy areas in order to know more about our identity and our needs. Second, Secondly, to ensure that lesbian refugees facing persecution are granted asylum, while recognizing increased vulnerability of women and children and ensuring full safety in reception facilities. The third one is launching a public campaign to enhance lesbian women's visibility to create lesbian references all over European countries. And the fourth one is helping lesbian women to do their own coming out. How? So by promoting inclusive and safe environment for lesbian women community and empowering them. Let me introduce another one, a last one, recommendation regarding or dealing with education. I, as a teacher, know the lack of projects and the need of them, of course, related to LGBT students and teachers, because it's not only the student, we also, we teacher, LGBT teacher, we exist as professionals, and even lesbian teachers are verbally harassed and suffer sexual discrimination and are pushed to hide their identity. So let me say that more educational projects are needed. That is all what I had to say to you. Thank you very much for your attention. I, I hope to see you in our next conference in Kiev, Ukraine, next 12 to 14 April 2019. So thank you very much again and see you soon. Bye.